Alright, time for some more Danganronpa. Just make sure that everything's going well over on my computer. Hey, alright. Let's continue with the second trial. Beginning from where you left off, is this okay? Yes. We're standing right outside the door. Oh boy. Trying to think of who the heck it would be. So, is everyone ready to what? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here. And Toko is... I might sound a little funny, my nose has been stuffy lately and I don't know why. Well, it's mostly just today, it's been really stuffy. So, you really don't remember?
Come on!
Kidding, I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. And just like he said, a few minutes later, he reappeared, dragging Toko behind him. She did the sound effect for me. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible. You're terrible. So, now everyone's here, right? Okay, then let's hustle on to the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
So, shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro Fujisaki. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Someone made a choice to kill a girl like that. And that murderer is one of us. Stupid cats. Sorry. I heard the creak of the floor and cats. Someone's standing right here. Oh, come on. Since Mondo's right in front.
Hey, come on.
What's got her so worked up? Okay, let's talk to Toko.
It's true.
This. Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. Totally missed talking to everybody there. I went to talk to Toko and I just went to the elevator. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very nice.
Good, good. You're rip-brain to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all.
Well?
Okay then, let's get this show on the road.
Thrills, chills, kills!
I like that saying. Everyone, please find your assigned seats. More like assigned podiums than anything. And so, the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly deadly. A deadly class trial. Sorry, there's too many deadlies. You know what to say? Might as well. Set skills. Since we have a few. Increases more slowly during concentration. A fever time effective during the non-stop debate hangman's costs 5. We have 3. We only have the 2 skills. Damage destroyed effective during bolt time bout. You know what? I'd rather have that. Oh, we have 14 total. Okay, so we'll have both skills. What truth bullets do we have? Sakura's account, locker room dumbbell, Mondo's account. Anyone else that she wanted to get stronger. Swap your handbook. Yeah, someone switched the stuff, so it had to be. But why would Chihiro be in the guys' locker room? I don't know. Celeste account. Okay. I think I'm ready. Let's go with this. You're gonna have to forgive me, I kind of forget the buttons.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Hold on. What are the controls? Oh crap, I can't check the controls, can I? I love it. Execute. Alright.
Okay then.
So I'm just going with my
first
instinct.
off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
I have a feeling since she was killed with a blunt object, it has to be the dumbbell. What was used to deliver the fatal blow? What do I get? Make your arguments. Locker room dumbbell. Easy enough.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Yep.
According to the Monokuma file,
Wait.
the killer
Okay,
used
R1
a
to slow down.
blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No. Triangle. Ah, there we go.
No, that's wrong.
Triangle's fire. That was X. So I was like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime?
It has to be because it was covered
It
in
was
blood.
covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
So the person who had that looks like a lot of weight on there. So the person who had to pick it up had to be pretty strong.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yay! That's so creepy!
But you're supposed to.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit.
He knows something.
Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
So I'm gonna have to prove it's not Genocide Jack. I have a feeling.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is
They made it too obvious it was Genocide Jack. It's not Genocide Jack, is
the
it?
fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? Oh, crap. A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Sure. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the X button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if you have your action difficulty set to gentle, your white noise will appear at all. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. We're playing at normal if I remember, so it's going to be white noise. Make your argument. What do we have? Case file. Okay.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure
Ah,
of it.
crap.
Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
There is proof.
No, that's wrong.
I have a whole case file about it.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library.
Okay, so first we're gonna have to prove about Genocide Jack, then we're gonna have to prove it's not Genocide Jack. I have this
I
feeling.
guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
And you didn't find it. Bakia, whatever his name is.
That's kinda weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
Togami. There you go. I can't remember his first name.
Is probably more trouble than it's
Byakuya.
worth.
That's why.
So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file,
very.
there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
There's actually three, because it's also the scissors. I know the second one's going to be the cross, but there's also the scissors.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Oh, Hifumi.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of the Genocide Jack case, in which the world at large doesn't know, from this it has to do with the positioning of the body. How the victim was positioned. The cross.
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
And now us, because of the file.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes. In fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
This is kind of blunt. Holy cow.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Oh, what's that?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Split personality.
Another riddle.
Gotcha.
Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Because you're not very smart. Sort of sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, and also not be Toko, the answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Yes. What do I have? Hangman's Gambit. N? No. What? S? Schizo?
Now I understand.
I was looking for more like schizophrenia or something, not schizo.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too.
She has schizophrenia.
They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Yeah, she was acting kind of weird. The one that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
Then how come she didn't do that with Sayaka? I'm fine, yeah. Oh, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? Yeah. She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top, inning, and a bottom. The sea of truth of web... I just completely messed that one up. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
And then the whole thing with
In
going
other
to her
words,
room.
within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Yep. She was scared of having Genocide Jack come out. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
Even though it locks from the inside, so it wouldn't have made sense.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the
Sorry.
murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
He knows a
I
lot.
do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Huh?
Last
I'm
night,
confused.
just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation.
Wait, you actually talked to Toko?
She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time.
That was on her card.
And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You
Uh-oh.
promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I
I
didn't
hate
ask you to.
Byakuya.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first.
Wait, they made a promise?
You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
Again, I'm sorry I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only
used
reason I
her.
promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but...
If she's faking this, she's doing a really good job.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Okay.
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
That voice sounds familiar.
Yes! What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
I want to know how the split personality actually started.
She's so intense.
This is going to be weird.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
No, they don't.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yeah,
Yes,
just a little.
well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
You said that earlier.
Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
I'm scared. This is the murderous fiend Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds!
I like Hifumi. Got straight to the point there.
Then, it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid!
Hey.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Well, yeah, they did.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
Sometimes not physically, but okay.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
I'm not sure what to believe out of Genocide Jill now.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Just to kill for fun.
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
And Toko's would be that she was Genocide Jill.
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Can she control when she changes back and forth, though?
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. Well, she said, I need to get some more details about all this. Okay. What have we got? Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe
Okay,
it?
plus 1 second, I didn't
Perhaps
realize
if you
that.
had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi
matches completely.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Because it's missing the scissors. I knew that would come into play.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Well then.
I murder with passion and conviction.
And the special scissors.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using Ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Hashtag not sponsored.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. In the photos from the other side Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see a difference. The victim's fatal injury is one.
For one, the cause of death is different.
She used the scissors, again.
In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Which
But
Or
Chihiro
absent.
died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
I knew it was too obvious to be Genocide Jack.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
They're strung up using the pair of scissors,
That's right.
not...
In my recipe of
cord.
murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Why are you comparing it to Italian
Could you
food?
please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Yes, that's right. The second difference is related to how the body was suspended. In the photos of the Jack cases, all the victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see the clear difference. What was used to suspend her?
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else?
Lay off the coffee.
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Oh,
Big
there's
Mac?
another?
Are you referring to me?
I could go for a Big Mac right now.
There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
They were all male.
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Isn't it pronounced Loli? Was it Lolly? There's a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit in. If you look at the names of every victim, you'll notice it is... I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro. Because Chihiro was a girl.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
Lay off the coffee.
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all male. I kind of noticed that the first time. I'm not gonna reread the names and all that.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
Seriously?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
I still think they would have... Genocide Jack would have done it in a special way still.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
I knew it.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors.
Do you even have the scissors here?
Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Now, do you specially make them, or do you have someone else make them specially for you?
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh god, you have some, don't you?
Da-da-da-da!
You have 4.
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you!
Jeez.
Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I don't know how you got the scissors into the school.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Unfortunately.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Byakuya, no. Did Byakuya do it? Actually, hold on. There is one person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Byakuya knew.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records.
Byakuya
Plus,
knew.
you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So,
sounds like it.
He rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Oh great, now inner and outer Toko and Genocide Jack both like Byakuya.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You
knew
wanted
exactly
to
where
go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
But you didn't know that at the time.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Good contradiction, because how would he know it's Chihiro before we found out it was Chihiro? Oh great, now what? Next we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak point and hold down the triangle button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use the flashbacks feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well, then, good luck and have fun. Crap. Shoot.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out
I think that's the one, because I knew it was before the body.
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro,
who was a girl.
No!
Like body. Knew it.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh? It's not.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with
What's
him.
the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
Wow, first time you've spoken this entire
We
case.
just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
What Chihiro was suspended with.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference between the case and other Genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there. What could it be? Let's see what we got. Library desk lamp. Okay.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors.
Okay.
And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed
There's
about
the
that
extension
rope.
cord.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong.
Sure about that?
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Yep.
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time
Used the string of Chihiro.
went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Killed Chihiro in the guy's room, though. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
What?
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
I don't think it was Byakuya, though. I don't think he could lift the dumbbell, and there's something about the switching of the rooms that we haven't talked about yet.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I
We
know,
didn't.
but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Again, the switching of the rooms and stuff. Wait, what was that just now? Something is not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said as the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off with what he said. Let's see another crime.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that.
Someone moved Chihiro, though.
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Ah, my water bottle. Almost knocked it over.
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene?
Yeah.
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I
Oh, we
believe
got plenty.
I do.
Hey Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who had been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys and girls' locker room. That?
I got it! The
could've
proof
done the
that she was
rugs,
killed
too.
somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms.
The carpets.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Yeah.
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. Boys' locker room.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Didn't mean to press X too fast there.
Does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body.
But why
By
move
doing
it?
this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
That's what I want to know.
An even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room.
I want to figure this. This is the part I have no idea about.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? What do I have? Broken e-handbook? No.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
No.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
I kind of want to see what's going on.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, wait. It's a broken hand. Found in the main hall that's been broken.
Of course.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
Took me a second. I realized that Leon's was still good.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
I don't think he realized it was broken.
Isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Very
Of course,
keen
if it were broken,
loophole.
that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
No.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya's the one who did it? Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Thank you,
I agree with
Kyoko.
you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the... You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
How?
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting?
I'm curious.
Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
What?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Where are we going? So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was... the girls' locker room.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully.
Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like, using our hands?
No way!
I'm surprised he turned down the opportunity to.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
Okay, Sakura.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
Sakura's probably more manly than all the guys there.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's
Oh,
not
God.
it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
I like Sakura. Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
Wait, what?
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
So Chihiro was a trap?
What?
Thank you, Hifumi. That summons my... what I'm thinking.
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was... A guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
I wonder if that was Chihiro's motive thing that he got in the gym. It's gonna be weird saying he now.
Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Okay.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
So Chihiro was actually a guy killed in the guy's room. So it had to be one of the guys that killed her. Killed him.
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
This game would trigger feminists so hard right now.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
Okay.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is a most titillating situation!
I'm just trying to still process that just happened.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
Did Byakuya do it, though?
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
But who did it?
But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
No.
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Yeah, he should have known that would have made him look like the killer.
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Can I just smack the smugness off your face?
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Why were you in the girls' locker room now?
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then Why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
I still want to know why he did it.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Man, you are just spacing on this.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
No.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
I'm still trying to think of who it could be.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can share that we know about the killer. The killer was able to get access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since the handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But it's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. I'm about as far as he is right now. Celeste's account. Crap. Can I check it? Yes, okay. What was Celeste's account? On the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seemed she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Presumably she was on the way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this encounter. Okay.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing.
I just kind of want to go through and see if there's something else that might fit more.
Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Here we go.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
No? What's about that? Makes me think something weird's going on. Oh, there goes a full heart.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Wait, can I speed this up? Fast forward. Aha, circle.
Someone saw the victim at some point.
Yeah. All we need...
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer.
And only the killer.
No. Okay, I should have waited a little bit longer.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about
Makoto?
this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Oh, Celeste, I kind of want to smack the smugness off your face, too.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
Where would they destroy them, though?
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Ah, very smart, Hero.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship!
But who?
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
I do.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
I do.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
I'm confused.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy
Please,
for
I'm
you to say,
confused.
but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
What? How does Chihiro jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe. Yeah, what? How does the track jacket connect the killer? Celeste account. Might have to copy.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
Wait.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Wait. They never mentioned the tracksuit color.
Shoot!
It was another heart. Okay, so I need to fast forward to him talking.
So next week, why did he choose?
What do you mean, this?
I got it! It matched the one the culprit.
So, what you're saying? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit?
No, that's wrong.
Did Mondo do it? Because Celeste never said what color the tracksuit was.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then I assumed he headed off to exercise. She never said the color.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
It was blue.
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
I bet you if he didn't slip up, the trial probably wouldn't have went on longer.
But because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No one did.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry?
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
It was in a duffel bag. We just talked about this. He should have just said he saw it hanging out of the duffel bag. She stuffed the tracksuit into the bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
Mondo did
It would
it?
appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
But it worked.
Now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
How?
Why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way he talked, the way he was acting? And the way he was acting? No.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude.
I didn't catch on to that.
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
That's very smart.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
So why did Mondo do it?
Was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I want to know why.
I didn't kill anyone!
Uh-oh.
You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth.
Great, I want to do the
You the
final
right to treat
showdown
me
in
like
my...
a goddamn criminal!
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
And you're only doing it because you're his bro.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
I like that voice for him.
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
What did he... Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, did your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
Wow.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
Hmm? What do you have there?
A handbook.
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found that on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... Chihiro?
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
Monokuma, can you fix it?
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
So where was it that he found it?
This one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Yeah, that's 2 out of the 5 or 6 there.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
Yes.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
Well, we know Leon's was because of his execution. There's only one explanation. By handing a sweet plant, exploiting a bug, by hacking it. Exploiting a bug? No, maybe it's got a bug you could exploit? Report a recall.
Shoot!
At least I only lost half hour for that one. by hitting its weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
Well,
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
Yes, we're asking you. We need to figure this
I
out.
think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Yeah.
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
Just make it a rule. Breaking your own
Allow me
handbook.
to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
So it was thrown into the sauna?
I flippin' knew it!
You
You
knew it?
didn't.
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
Are we having a health class now?
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried.
So I guess that whole scene with Mondo and
That layer of air would get
what's his face
blown
there,
away.
the
That's why
upstanding
you may feel
more.
a
I forget his name.
burning
Oh
when
my
you
god.
move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Yeah, between Mondo and the other guy, him,
Interesting. I learned
Ishimaru.
one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Because Mondo had his in his pocket, because he still had his coat on in the sauna. Ishimaru, if you saw, just had his towel on when he was in there.
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
But then how did he get into the guy's room
What
later
if they
on?
found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
Mondo.
I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
Mondo, because he still had his coat and
I
everything
might
on.
know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Yeah, you know. They're gonna build a sauna. Well, they're closing the sauna. It was... Mondo Awada.
Here's my answer! Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Yep.
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
Yep.
And
Right here.
for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
Mondo, turn on your ebook. I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Wait, what do we have? Broken e-handbook, Chihiro's handbook, and card reader. Broken e-handbook?
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
Oh, wrong
In
one.
other words, if Mondo's
Couldn't figure out how to
handbook
switch
is
the thing.
actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
He has Leon's. Oh, that's how we got in.
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it.
He's
There
borrowing
is
it.
a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
I mean, as twisted and perverted as it is, he does actually have a point.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch.
Got him.
What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong. You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Okay,
No.
then why don't we look back on this case one more time?
Oh my god, just have Mondo turn on the handbook.
That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
So I have to put the whole thing back together. Closing argument. Uh, maybe? Maybe? It's this one. I'm confused. Maybe. Okay, so... No. Okay, so I know I got that, but what would be here? That? What do I have left?
Here's
Let's
exactly
see.
what happened.
I know I probably got something wrong.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident.
That's confusing.
Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room.
I don't think the last
But
one's
how
right
could
there.
the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Oh. Okay, I see. That was not right either. There we go.
Here's exactly what happened.
That makes more sense now.
With
See you
bag in
soon.
hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime.
Hopefully.
She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Yes, got it right.
Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room.
Okay.
Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
Okay.
It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
I thought maybe I got
And
some of the
that's
stuff
where the
wrong.
bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
I don't think he meant to kill Chihiro.
Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster.
No? Ah, crap. Oh. Aha.
Here's
There
exactly
we go.
what happened. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, then
Okay, we saw
removing
that, and there we go.
and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
I still don't know why he did it.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter.
Which we figured out wasn't true.
And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
If only they had taken the handbook afterwards. That's a
Isn't
creepy
that right,
picture.
Mondo Arata?
Complete. That was a very scary picture of Mondo.
Wait. No. This can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence?
Just provide a ton of it.
Evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
And Mondo's the killer that already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I could somehow show Mondo's handbook is right now, once I do that, everything will become clear. Oh no, come on, more. About fever time and nigga time. During a bullet time battle, if you press the R1 button, fever time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push X square, however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. But this only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. It's fair if only you got access to special time, right? So you've also paired something called nigga time that your opponent can use. If your opponent activates nigga time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. If you were to activate Viva time at this point, no, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Unsurprising if your action difficulty is set to gentle. Yeah. Okay. Moment of truth. Let's fight him, not Mondo.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False.
Final strike.
Show me some evidence.
This should prove it.
Broken handbook. That was actually kind of easy.
Thinking so far is right.
Once you get the rhythm down, it's actually really easy to do.
Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Oh, Mondo.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
Wow. I probably did terrible during this. How'd I get all A's? I'm curious. Hallelujah, I got A. 83? Holy crap.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Oh,
Wait!
God.
Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank. Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around?
I want to know why he did it.
Will you make the right choice? Or the what's it gonna be?
Oh,
what's it gonna be?
Finger slipped. Vote. Guilty. Mondo Owada.
What?
Uh-oh. This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it's so. The black and the kill Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Owada.
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Taka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very closely to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he could kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
It looks like Mondo's taking a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time, it's the sad story of two men. But for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can just hit circle to fast forward the text. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak even though you're a boy. He heard things like this as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him, and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. Which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack and the armor would fall away. Without doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured that being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But...
But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I could talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger, and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so... that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yep, it sure was. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret.
Uh-huh.
That's why he switched it to keep Chihiro all. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will give me some courage. So he went... I think that's supposed to be Monokuma talking, not Chihiro. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did. To keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did. You mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room to the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro.
But
how does knowing the body keep his secret?
Because
if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook. See? Then Mondo did all that to keep his promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed? Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why did you... Because, no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it, after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something you didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone?
Wrong.
It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why didn't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, the secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. That is low, Monokuma. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's elder brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo even ever got onto a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number one of the gang, and as number two, his younger brother, Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. Ew. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang with his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. How did you find all this out? The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Could someone like that really be our leader? All it'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of some other members of the gang. Which is why...
I
gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Once. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes, I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. Crazy Diamond. But suddenly... he pushed his brother out of the way. Mondo blames himself for it. Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. Kinda messed up. Sorry. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey kid, the rest is up to you. no matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Because it's a team. You and me put it together. It's a promise between men. And that's why Mondo uses that. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Dai was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. Oh, that became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. But then how did Monokuma find out about it? He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies for his brother.
I'm
strong. Strong. And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced that revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it would have been for nothing. So that's why Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness, and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before.
I
didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden? Because, I mean, you've kept the secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would... You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing that lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. It can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So, what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I've never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you effing with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
Why did you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
No, I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
Stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was lying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey.
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. Dang it. Look at him. You see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory, for that he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? 'Cause I sure don't. You bastard. Just shut up. Go ahead, say that again, I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want, is what I want to say, but unfortunately I can't do that right now, because it's the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now, well now, well now,
That's
well
what I promised
now.
you, right? The blackened that deserves the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo Awada, the ultimate biker gang leader. No, wait.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I said wait.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
It seems like Mondo actually regrets what he did, unlike Leon. Leon didn't regret it. Mondo, on the other hand, does. Because he had a moment of weakness. Mondo has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. What's Mondo's punishment gonna be? Huh? Oh, I'm getting dizzy just looking at that. Oh. Motorcycle. Monokuma's got the same hairstyle. Bite cage? The cage of death. How's that supposed to kill him, though? What the heck? What just happened? Where'd Mondo go? The heck? Mondo butter? Did Monokuma just eat Mondo? What the heck? Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother. Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. Good God, Taka. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But he, of course, he had to. What a disappointment. Is this the end of the game? Byakuya?
What is this?
You're completely insane, you know that? A game? One of our friends is dead. Do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because this game is life or death.
Hey.
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response, except that...
However...
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. He did it just to make things interesting. He didn't care if he lived or died. He just wanted an interesting crime. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So he ignored the nighttime rule too. The rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse.
What?
You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool, he didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
So, you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed. What had been the end of it? How boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. We did all that to liven things up.
I see.
So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene.
But...
if we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Byakuya turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become blackened, I know who I would have to watch out for. But
correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next?
You
like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Do you like them? But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Mean? Mean? Mean?
What the heck?
Mean.
Damn it!
Good grief, I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh, how exciting!
Ah, the noble son of a noble family. Truly you understand me. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
Shut up, I will never stoop to a level of a childish criminal like you. Let me say this. After I've achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled up!
Ooh, so cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Good lord, Monokuma. Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue. Because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell that had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now, so just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
There's one thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away!
Who is it? The 16th high school student, I mean.
Ooh-hoo. My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied, because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
So who's Monokuma talking to? It's obvious it's not the mastermind, because Monokuma is being controlled by the mastermind. So who's he talking to? And of course they're using one of the stock models there, so you can't tell if it's a boy or girl or who it is. The end. 10 left. I guess 11? Then? The crazy diamond present. Do you want to save? Yes. Trophy earned, 2 of a kind. Sniff. Sniff, sniff.
I know I shouldn't cry, but I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. Getting out of here anytime soon. It's impossible. I can't let myself think about how much I want to get out of here. If I keep thinking like that, I might decide to.
Be strong, Hina. Be strong. Donuts. I need to eat some donuts. That'll cheer me up. Glazed donuts, twisty donuts, jelly donuts, cream-filled donuts, donut holes, malasadas. No idea what those are. Oh god, a donuts and pear for a wonderful encounter. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for breaking the nighttime rule. But right now, for me, donuts are absolutely necessary. What's that sound? Sounds like it's coming from the bathhouse.
But
I'm super scared, but is someone there? A next generation legend, stand tall, galactic hero. Was that Chihiro's face on the computer? Was that the laptop from the library that went missing? The morning after the conclusion of the second class trial. Everyone met up in the night hall, just like always. Alright, I'm going to stop here. Oh my god. Mondo Iwata. I honestly never suspected him. Chihiro is actually a guy? What? And now someone's working with the mastermind in our group? And there's another what? Oh, so much information to process. Alright. Like I said, I'm going to end this stream here. If you're watching this live, it'll probably be a few more days just because of work and everything before I get back into this. Yeah, I really can't wait to get into this more. Oh my god. As bad as it sounds, I kind of am curious as to who's going to be the one to be murdered next. I wonder how Taka's going to take Mondo being murdered. Would have been really cruel if Monokuma had given Taka the Mondo butter. Oh, that would have been bad. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching the video. And, yeah, I will see you all next time. Take it easy.